Hi guys, it's LeJanaro. Welcome back to my channel, and I would like to welcome all of my new subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. Today I'm going to be sewing Simplicity 9337, and I'm going to be sewing view A and view C. Now, this is not a tutorial. I'm just sewing this along. And the reason I say it's not a tutorial is because I don't follow the directions and patterns. If I see a pattern and it looks like it's straightforward, I don't follow the directions, and I don't use all of the pieces either. For example, this particular pattern has leg facings, and I'm not using them for two reasons. One, I don't see the point. And two, I didn't have enough fabric to cut out leg facings. So, and then I'm not using the pocket that they have on here. I took a pocket from a different pattern, and I'm going to try to add that pocket to the pants, and hopefully it turns out okay. It's a birder pocket. And the only reason I grabbed that is because it was the first pattern I could grab right out of the drawer. So, yeah. So we'll see how that works. But, yeah, this is not a tutorial. Just me taking you all along as I sew this pattern. And it'll be my first fall piece. So we'll see how this goes. I'm using the fabric that I showed you guys. You'll see it once I start to put it together. But I showed you guys this fabric in my last fabric haul. I think it was with my last fabric haul. I didn't have that much fabric. Got it from Fine Fabrics. That's the fabric haul where I went to Melanated as well. But I got this particular fabric. It's the terry cloth type tie-dye looking fabric. I got that from Fine Fabrics. And I am using this Husqvarna Viking H class 200S. I don't know if that's the whole name of it, but I'm using this serger to sew up this jogger set. All right, so let's get started. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the pieces out first. I started cutting out this pattern, I almost put it back because I didn't realize it was this many pieces. But it's okay. So I don't like more than 4 or 5 pieces in a pattern. Anyway, let me go through these pieces. And I'm just picking them up how they're stacked here, not in any particular order. So I have piece number 5, the sleeve band. All right. And that's for the view A, the top, the long sleeve top. This is piece number 12. This is the leg band for view C, the pants, the joggers. This is the casing for the pants, number 10. All right. And for each one of these, I've cut 2 pieces. Yep. And this is piece number 6. This is the lower band. This goes with the top. And I cut 2 pieces. This is the neck band. And this is for view A. This is the neck band. You only need to cut 1. I cut 2 simply because I had the fabric folded in half. This is the Berta pocket that I'm hopefully will go in here all right. I may have to maneuver some stuff. You always cut 4 pocket pieces. This is piece number 1, which is the front of the top. This is piece number 2, which is the back of the top. And you cut both of these on the fold. This is piece number 4, which is the sleeve. And these last 2 pieces, piece number 9 and piece number 7 are the right and left pant legs. All right, so there's a lot of pieces. But then I realized, had I made the pieces separately, like had I made the top one day and the pants the other day, it wouldn't have been that many pieces. So, okay, I won't blame the pattern. All right, so the first thing I am going to do, I like to batch sew whenever I sew garments. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take the neckband and I'm going to pin that together. And I'm going to go ahead and take that to the sewing machine. We're going to take all of this stuff to the sewing machine at once, or the serger. Right, so the neckband, you should have some notches on the end. You're just going to place them with right sides facing and pin. And you will sew down this edge here. I'm also going to take the lower band, and that's for the top. And I'm going to keep my pattern pieces close by. Like once I sew it, I'm going to pin it back to the pattern piece so I'll know what's what and I don't confuse myself. The lower band, which is for the top, it has 2 pieces, so I'm just going to place them. They're already cut out with right sides facing, so I'm just going to pin the short ends. Use as many pins as you want. So I'm going to pin that short edge, and I'm going to pin this short edge. And again, you should have some notches from your pattern pieces if you sew garments. I'm not sure who all follows me. I know there are some people who sew garments on here and some people that sew bags. So yeah. All right, so that's pinned together. And again, I'm going to keep the pattern piece close because I don't want to lose it. And I end up asking myself, which pattern piece is this again? All right. I'm also going to take the casing for the pants and do the same thing. That's piece number 10. I am going to pin the short edges together. I have a notch here. And I have a notch here. And the best way, when you cut out your pattern pieces in your fabric, make sure your fabric is right size facing. That way when you pin, it's already right size facing. All right. Yeah, I'll pray that I don't lose any of these pins and end up sticking myself, or one falls on the floor and I can't find it. I'm also going to take the leg bands, all right, and the sleeve bands. You're not pinning those two pieces together. You should have two separate pieces pinned together. So these are two separate pieces. So you're going to fold it in half. Right, fold the shorter edges together. You should again have a notch. And this one is the sleeve band. You should have two of these. So not like the casing or the lower band where you pin the two pieces together. You're going to pin two separate pieces. Right. And the same thing with the leg band. All right, put this back with the pattern piece so I don't lose it. And do the same thing with the leg band. Don't put your pins in your mouth. I'm laughing, but that's serious. Don't put your pins in your mouth. I'm laughing because I said it and then I did it again. But don't put your pins in your mouth. Because if you mess around and take a deep breath or something, that pin goes down, punctures your lung. I just made up a whole scenario. But that something happened. I can't remember what it was. It was a story I read online about a lady. And she showed her x-ray and it had the pin like in her chest. It was horrible. And she had to have surgery and all that stuff. So don't put your pins in your mouth. All right, so that's the leg band. So those are all of my bands. I have them pinned and ready to sew. And I'm going to also take my top, all right, the front and back of my top, and I'm going to place them right sides facing, and I'm going to pin them at the shoulder seams. Here it is. All right. So that's the reason I'm not calling this a tutorial, because I am all over the place right now. So take my front and back pieces. And you can tell the difference in your front and back pieces by the amount of notches that you cut. Like this is the where you put your sleeve, and this has one notch. On the back piece, you have two notches. All right, so that's how you tell the difference between your front and back pieces of your top, the sleeve area. And also, the notches for the neck band are on the back pattern piece as well. So I'm pinning at the shoulder seams. You should have some notches again at the shoulder seams. Pin those together, right sides facing. Yeah, if this were a tutorial, I'd be way more organized than this. You'll have a better view of what I'm doing. Right. I like batch sewing. I really didn't know what it was called at first until I watched a Style Sew Me video and she called it batch sewing. And I was like, that's what that's called. But anything I can go ahead and sew and get, done at the sewing machine all at one time, I like doing that. All right. So I'm going to take all these pieces. Got my. I'm going to take all these pieces to the serger. I'm going to serge them and then I am going to press them. Whenever you sew a seam, you press a seam. I know you all don't see me doing that a lot on tutorials, but it is very important. It makes sure garments and bags look professional and not homemade. So every time you sew a seam, you press a seam. All right, I'll meet you guys at the serger. Okay, so that was a lot of sewing. I got it all done. So let me show you all what I did. This is the neck band. So what I did, I sewed that in together, pressed it, and then I folded it in half. All right. So you just fold it in half. You have a big circle, and then I gave it a good press. All right. So I'm going to keep this close because I'm going to finish up the top first. Leg bands, I did the same thing. I sewed the ends together and then I folded them in half. Let me see if I can. All right, so this is the leg band now. I can take it apart. So once you sew it together on that end, you fold it in half all the way around, and you give it a good press, and that's what it looks like. Right, so this is the leg band. I'm gonna sit this aside until I work on the pants. I did the same thing with the sleeve band. I'm gonna keep this close. The lower band, I did the same thing. The lower band is for the top as well. Gonna keep that close. And I also did it for the casing for the pants. All right. Again, once you sew the ends that you have to sew together, you fold them in half and you press them. You fold them in half, wrong sides facing, and you press them. All right. So next I need my sleeves for my top. And I'm inserting the sleeves using the, I knocked something down. I'm inserting the sleeves using the flat method. Let's see if I can turn that around. So I'm gonna open up my top here, right? And I have the right side facing up, and the 2 notches on this end is the back. The 1 notch here is the front, all right? So I'm gonna take one of my sleeves and I'm gonna match up those notches. All right. So I got the 1 sleeve, I have the 2 notches here and the 1 notch here. And I'm gonna match up the notches. Right, match up the 2 notches, and once you do that, you just kind of fit the sleeve cap in, and you do it to the other side as well, and then you sew it. Right, if you want to see a in-depth tutorial on making pants as well as making a top, I have one. It's a simplicity pattern, and it's 2 separate videos. I will link them in the description box below, where I take you step by step. Easy top, easy bottom. The bottom has an elastic waistband, and I show you step by step how to put those together. I can't think of what the pattern number is right this second, but I will link it in the description box below. Right, once you get your sleeve all pinned, both sides, you sew it, and then take it to the ironing board and press it. You should also have some dots on your sleeves. You should have notches and dots on your sleeve, and that will help you put your sleeve together a little bit better as well. Put these last couple of pins in here and I'll show you what it looks like. Use as many pins as you need to on these sleeves. All right, so you have your sleeve pin from one underarm all the way around to the other one. And now add the other sleeve to the other side. You sew it up and then press it. All right, once you get both sleeves done, all right, this is what it looks like. Starting to look like a sleeve, right? You place the top with right sides facing, right, on that side with the sleeve. And I'm going to, you have notches, but I'm going to start here right at the underarm seam. I'm going to pin. I'm going to find my notch on the sleeve, which is here. I'm going to pin down the rest of the sleeve. I'm also going to pin down the rest of the top. My sleeve is a little off because I was running out of fabric. So I was really maneuvering trying to cut the sleeves out. That's why those leg facings didn't stand a chance. Right, so this is the rest of the top. You have notches here to match up and pin all the way down. And you're going to take it to your sewing machine, and you're going to start at the end of the sleeve and sew all the way to the end of the top. All right, so we have the side seam all sewn from the sleeve all the way down the side seam. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn this to the right side, right? And I'm working with one of my sleeves and one of these sleeve bands. All right, so take the sleeve. You should have a notch on the sleeve, and you should have notches here. So I'm just going to take the sleeve band and I'm going to tuck the sleeve on the inside. Right, and everything should be right sides facing. So this is the sleeve, this is the sleeve band, this is the raw edge of the sleeve band. Right, you're going to match up your notches. I also like to match up that seam there. That's on the sleeve band and the sleeve. You pin all the way around, and you're going to sew all the way around. Make sure you have all your layers together. Right, there should be 2 layers of your sleeve band and 1 layer of your sleeve. Right, and you may have to pull and stretch because the sleeve band is supposed to fit tight. So just make sure you match up your notches, and that will guide you for the rest of everything else. All right. And you do the same thing to the other sleeve and the other sleeve band. And then you sew it up. All right, so let me see if I can hold this up so you all can see it. It is a top now. So here's the top, that's the sleeves, that's the other sleeve. Right, so let's finish up the top by adding the neck band and the bottom band. Is that what it's called? It's called the lower band. All right, so just like everything else, you're gonna find your notches and match up your notches. All right, so this is the back of my neck band, and here are my 2 notches. Here's the back of my top, and there are my 2 notches. And I don't know this yet, but you may have to stretch to make this fit. Make sure that right sides are facing. And it is okay if you have to stretch to kind of make this neckband fit around. Only thing I'm gonna need to do with this neckband that I can't do on my serger is I have to top stitch it or under stitch it. And I can't do that on the serger, but so I have my 2 notches. I have the neckband pinned with all of the notches and everything matching. Yep, I'm gonna have to stretch a little bit for it to fit around, which is the case most of the time with neck bands. You have to kind of stretch. So I may actually do the sewing on a sewing machine and then serge to clean up my edges, maybe. But yeah, go ahead and keep pinning your neckband around. Right, and your raw edges are together. Right, then take the bottom of your top. You should have some notches on there as well, and some notches on your lower band. Let me find those. Place with the right sides facing. Right, so this is your band. That's the bottom of my top, and I just stuck my band on. Find your notch. You should have 2 layers of your band and 1 layer of your top. Find your notch. Pin. Then do it on the other side as well. This is my top. And this is my band. Raw edges are matching. And match up your notches. Continue to pin all the way around. I'm going to match up my side seams here. My side seams may be a little off with this serger. I think what will help that is if I add more pins and don't pull as much. You have some more notches also on your band and on your top. And I'm going to match up this side seam. Right, once you're done pinning all the way around, you're going to take it to the sewing machine and you're going to sew around. All right, guys, so my top is done. I forgot to record the neckband part. I was gonna sew it on a machine, but I ended up sewing it on the serger anyway. I still have to do the understitching so the neckband will lay down, but my top is done. I got the neckband, the sleeves, the sleeve band, and the bottom band on here, right? And of course I'll take pictures in it to show you all what it looks like. I think it's going to be a little big on me. I cut it at a large, but I probably could have went down to a medium. Maybe. I'll see when I try it on fully. I was trying it on for the sleeves earlier because I always have to cut sleeves down because I guess I got short arms or whatever, but it felt like it was kind of big. So, but I'll see once I put it on and take pictures and everything. So now we got the pants to work on. So I got stuff everywhere behind me. Right, so you got your front leg and your back pant leg, and you have two of each. All right, so I have one front leg. This is my back pant leg, and this is a front pant leg. What I'm going to do, I'm going to start pinning at the crotch. All right, you should have notches just like the shirt. You should have notches. All right, so this is your crotch here. I'm going to start pinning here. Find your notches and match them up. And pin all the way down. I haven't made garments in a while. I think the last garment I sewed on the channel was that McCall's dress. But I definitely haven't made pants in a while, so this might go horribly wrong. I don't think it will, but who knows? Especially because I have to maneuver these pockets on here. Not sure how I'm going to do that. I just don't like front pockets like that's on the pattern. So I'm going to do regular pockets. Right? So I pinned from the crotch seam all the way down the pant legs. And I'm going to do the same thing to the other front and back piece, and I'm going to sew them together. All right, so I have one front piece and one back piece sewn together. Do the same thing to both sides, right? Starting at the crotch seam. I'm going to open this up like this, and I am going to add the pockets. So what I'm going to do, I think I'm just going to start the pocket here at the waistband and just pin that. And this again is an experiment because these pockets don't go with these pants. So it's going to take the top of the pocket and I'm going to match it up to the top of the waistband. And cross my fingers that this works out in the end. This will make my waistband a little bit thicker, but that's fine. And once I get the other pocket pinned to the other side, I'm gonna take it and sew it together. This is really an easy sew. Like I said, I'm not even using the pattern instructions. Only thing I'm doing different is the pockets. But all right, so got one pocket on one side and the other pocket on the other side. Gonna take this to the sewing machine and sew it together. All right, so I have both sides done. I added the pockets to both sides. So now I'm just going to take, this is one side, and I'm going to match them with right sides facing at this crotch area here. All right, so this little U here, I'm going to match those up. Right. And I do know that there are better ways to sew pants, or maybe not even better ways, different ways to sew pants. It's just that this is the way that popped in my head while I'm doing this video. I've done videos where I've sewn the front and back pant leg together, all the way together, and then turn one pant leg to the right side, tuck it into the other one, and sew it around the crotch area that way. That one actually is a little bit easier than this, because once you sew these two areas, once you sew around this crotch area, you have to flip the pants in a way, and that can be kind of confusing. I remember the first time I did it, I was like, "This don't look right. This don't look right." But I've gotten used to doing it now, so. But yeah, I'm sure there are multiple ways to do this. So there we go. All right, so got that done. So what I'm going to do, this is going to be so weird, all right? And you probably won't even be able to see it all, but you want to open it up. Hold on, let me do that again. So this is the crotch area here. So I'm going to take these two pocket here, the pant legs with the pockets, and I'm going to open them up, all right, like this. And then I'm just going to match the pockets up together. That's the easiest way I can explain it. I'm just going to match the pockets. And now it looks like pants. Right? Match the pockets, right size facing. It looks like pants. Right? So I'm going to pin all of this together, each side. I'm tired. I'm like filming this straight through. No breaks, no days in between. This is all getting done on Saturday. I'm going to show you what I'm pinning in just a second. I'm going to do the same thing to both sides. And again, I will put the videos in the description of a more detailed tutorial. It's 2 tutorials. One is actually a dress, but same technique with the top, with a top. As a matter of fact, that pattern has a top on it. You sew it the same way as I do the dress. And then the other tutorial is me sewing pants. So I don't want you watching this and be like, this tutorial sucks. It's not a tutorial. I don't do very many garments here on the channel. All right, let me show you. What I have pinned. All right, so I've pinned around the pocket and all the way down the side. So this is what I'm going to do. I am going to, I'm actually going to take this to my sewing machine before I do the serger part. And right here at the top of the pocket, I'm going to sew here down about 1.5 inches. All right. So this is the pocket here. I'm going to sew down here about 1.5 inches. All right. Then Actually, I don't have to do it on the serger. I'll do the pocket on the serger, but not the pant leg. So yeah, from the machine, I'm going to sew here 1.5 inches. Then I'm going to come down about 1.5 inches at the bottom of the pocket and start there. And I'm going to sew all the way down the pant leg. All right. And then I'm going to take the serger and I'm going to clean up the pocket, and then I'll clean up, well, when I add the leg band, I'll clean up around the leg band with the serger. And I'm going to do the same thing to the other pant leg. All right, so my battery died on my camera that I had pointing towards the sewing part. So had to charge. I'm charging the battery now. It's almost 8 p.m. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up. So what I did, I took this to the regular sewing machine, and like I said, I was gonna sew like 1.5 inches at the top of the pocket, then start at the bottom of the pocket about here, and sew down the rest of the way on the leg. I have now pinned my pocket towards the front of the pants. All right, that way I know which part is the front and which part is the back. I meant to mark on my fabric, but I forgot. So I am going to take the casing, and you have some notches on here. Turn your pants to the right side. I don't want to poke myself with the pins that's holding the pockets. Right. And just take your casing and match up the notches. Right side's facing. So I'm just kind of tucking the pants. Right, matching up these notches here. And you're going to pin and sew this the same way as the lower band and the sleeve band on your top. And after I finish with the casing, I'm going to pin the leg bands. Right, and when I sew around the casing, I'm going to leave an opening. I'm going to leave an opening, and that's where I'm going to put my elastic. So just like you and I usually leave my opening in the back. It doesn't really matter where you leave an opening because you're going to end up sewing it up anyway. But I usually just leave mine opening in the back. All right, I'll finish pinning that in a second. The legs, right, doing the same thing. You should have notches. Here's your leg band. Match up your notches, and you're going to sew around. There they are. I couldn't find my notches. That's what happens when you get tired. There we go. There are my notches. Right. And again, you may have to pull because your pant leg is a little bit bigger than your casing. So you may have to pull because the leg band is supposed to be a little snug. It's supposed to cinch the leg together. All right, so I'm going to finish pinning this leg and then this leg. I'm going to sew them up and do my casing, add my elastic, and I will be done. Close up the opening where I add the elastic, and I'll be done with the pants. All right, guys, so y'all are not going to believe this. I recorded this whole outro and then deleted it by mistake. So here's the finished look. Let me push that down. There we go. So this is what it looks like, the finished look. I do like both the top and the bottom. And you know, like I said, my sleeves are always too long, but that's fine. I like to kind of cover up my hands, but I may or may not go down to a medium. I might not because I like the room that I have in the top. The top is a large, the bottom is an extra large. I like it. It was a quick and easy sew. It's easy for beginners. I recommend it for beginners. And of course, if you're intermediate and advanced, you can make this pattern as well, but it's a quick learn to sew pattern as well. The pockets on the pattern are actually front pockets here. I don't like those, so I just grabbed a pattern piece from a Berta pattern and just added my own pockets. So usually how I will wear this, I would probably roll up my sleeves just a little bit and then roll up my pants leg. Forgive me if I'm ashy. So I would probably, wear it like this. Yeah. This is the back, what the back looks like. But yeah, I like it. I feel like this is going to be a TNT pattern, something that I can make. I can grab different color fabrics and make monochromatic looks, or make a different top and a different bottom. You can do a lot with this, and I love sewing with knits. I'll probably make this in more Ponte knit fabrics. I have a lot of those in my stash, and then who knows, I may make some of the crazy fabric that I got in some of those fabric hauls that I got from Fine Fabrics. May make it in one of those fabrics. I think that would be really, really cute. I think the money one, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I really like this pattern. I like the fit of it. Usually I like my pants a little bit more loose, but with me, my pants end up being baggy and slouchy. So I like that these actually, fit right, jam up. It's a perfect fit. So yeah, I like this outfit. I also like the fabric. Even though it's like a terry cloth type of knit, it still feels very lightweight. So I can wear this in the fall, I can wear it in the winter. Yeah, I'm glad I did this. All right, so that is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, click the thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe and also hit the notification bell so you'll be notified each time I post a new video. I will make sure that I link the tutorials that I mentioned in the video of me making, it's a simplicity pattern. The number escapes me right now. I think it's 8557, but don't quote me. I will put it in the description of me making pants and then me making a dress, but the dress is sewn the same way as the top on the pattern. It is also a beginner pattern, so it's beginner friendly. And I will link this pattern in the description box below. All right, guys, I will see you in the next video.